All right, today we are going to do something fun. We are cooking a rack of ribs. We have cut them into thirds, and we're going to cook these bad boys in the wood stove. If you're wondering why I had a blue paper towel over this plate, well, I cut the rack in half, and what I'm going to do is I cut it in thirds actually. I cut it in 3 equal sections. I microwaved these 2 sections here. I microwaved them for right at 3 minutes. The reason I do that is the wood stove cooking inside there is real good about cooking the outside of the meat or baked potato or whatever, but it's really hard to cook on the inside of whatever you're trying to cook. So I microwave it for 3 minutes. If you know anything about microwaves, it cooks from the inside outward. So now I've got these 2 sections, and like I say, there's a third piece there. I'm going to cook that another day. So anyway, let me get these off and put into the aluminum foil, and I'll show you how I'm going to season them up. Alright, well, I failed to mention why I had the blue paper towel, but I do want to tell you, anytime you've got raw meat like this and you're going to microwave it, it will pop and splatter, and it will spread blood throughout your microwave. So you always want to cover it up. So that's why I use the blue paper towels. They're very absorbent, and you can rinse those out, use them several times. I would not want to do it with blood on there, but if it was something else, I definitely would. But anyway, so I've taken my fork and I have punctured the rib, and you will get mixed reviews on whether you should do that or not, but hey, not everybody cooks inside a wood stove. So anyway, this seems to work well for me. So let's take us a little bit of sea salt here. I got some coarse kosher salt, and what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of that on here, and I'm going to also do it on both sections, but I'll just show you on this one. And what I like to do as well is take some paprika, and man, I tell you what, this is some good stuff. I got introduced to paprika a few years ago, and I am glad I did. That was a good move right there, is finding out about that stuff. Everybody else knows about it. I guess I was one of the last to know. Anyway, I take this smoky Montreal steak seasoning. You can use whatever you want. Some people like the Montreal chicken. That's also a great flavor. Mrs. Dash, any of that stuff. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on here. And you can do the bottom as well if you want to, or just do it on the top if you like a lot of seasoning. So all I'm going to do now is just wrap this up, and I'm going to put these things in the wood stove. And it never fails. I seem to have something in my way of wanting to get to the wood stove anytime I need to. I put this pillow down here so I can rest my knee on it whenever I have to crouch down to feed the fire. But evidently the cat's glad I'm put the pillow here as well. So anyway, you can see that I've got just a medium-sized fire going here. I don't have it blaze of glory going on or anything like that. It's just you know, got plenty of room in here. It's not a very big log at all. So it's about a 20-inch box in there. I guess it's about 14, maybe 16 inches deep and about 20 inches wide. So the way I take the aluminum foil here is I make sure to fold up the edges so that it does not leak. I'll keep of course the bottom side sealed like that, and just try to fold it all up here on the top side. So what I'm going to do now is put on my gloves so I can put these inside the wood stove. Okay, so now what I do is I just open the door to the wood stove, and I'm going to take and set my first section right there, and take the other and put it right here. It's not sitting on any red coals, it's just sitting inside the wood box. And of course I meant to say I've just got it sitting inside the wood stove. So anyway, you can see that it's I've got them both separated here. They're just going to have radiant heat from the fire in there. And if I wanted a little bit of that smoke flavor, what I could do is I could take that aluminum foil and leave it open just a little bit. But when you do that, of course, you lose a lot of the moisture, because the moisture would come out of the aluminum foil and it would seep into the atmosphere of the stove as opposed to staying inside with the ribs. So right now what I want to do is I just want to keep it sealed up tight, let all that moisture cook inside the aluminum foil, let all those flavors marinate in there. And I'm going to give that about 2 hours before I take it out. When I take it out, I'll add to the fire a little bit, put me a little bit of barbecue sauce on there, and see what we can do with it. Maybe cook it a little while longer. So I'll let you know what's going on here in about another 2 hours. Well, I just pulled this out of the wood stove. Been in there for right at an hour, and you can see a little bit of char going on here. A little bit of that smoke's able to get inside of here, and a little bit of the moisture's able to get out as well. But you can see down here, there's a little bit of oil down here inside the aluminum foil. So of course it is capturing some of the oils and the moisture seeping out and keeping it in here, so it's not going to dry out. But to kind of get an idea of how well this is already cooked, what I'm doing is sticking my fork in there. And if you like your ribs to fall off the bone, you should not be able to lift up on the fork and it stay with the ribs. I should be able to just pull the fork and it should just glide right out with the ribs staying flat on the surface. So I know that I still got some time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this 1 more hour. That will be 2 total hours of cook time in the wood stove. That will be 3 minutes cook time in the microwave. So that should be plenty of time, but hey, let's check anyway and see. But you know, the thing with cooking in a wood stove, you don't have a way to know what your correct temperature is in there. So you know, this could vary. I could have a very light fire in there, and it might take 3 or 4 hours. But a medium-sized fire could take only 2 hours to cook. So it's going to vary from wood stove to wood stove and vary upon your fire. I do like to keep some leather gloves handy. That's a great way to pull these out of the fire. That way you don't burn your hands. And just a little safer measure, I always use these to load firewood in the fire. You know, I used to for years just open the door, throw a piece of firewood in there, and never failed that I'd every now and then burn the side of one of my hands or fingers or whatever. Hey, it's just a lot easier. Just slide some leather gloves on and never get burned again. All right, well, I pulled these out of the wood stove, and they was still a little need of some more cooking time. So right now we're at 2.5 hours. And I poured some barbecue sauce on them. I'm going to put them back in the wood stove there for about another 30 minutes. Let this barbecue sauce cook in there real good, and I'm going to wear it out. Man, look at those ribs. Does that look good or what? Now, let me show you how soft these things are too. I can take my fork and it just eases right in there. When I pull up on the fork, the ribs stay down, and that's what you want. You don't want them to lift up. If the ribs try to lift up, kind of like that right there, but you can see that they instantly fall. So you know they are cooked all the way through. Look at that. Woo! Well, tonight I made up a sweet potato. I also cooked it in the wood stove. Hey, here in a few weeks or so, I'll show you how I did that. Man, I appreciate y'all joining me today. Hey, I hope y'all try this out too. It's a good way to cook. Saves money on energy. Man, you're going to have the wood stove going anyway. You might as well cook inside of it, right? So, hey, folks, I would appreciate if y'all hit the like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And I will see y'all real soon with another great thing coming from the country right here in the South. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.